Where's Fafi, did someone say? I didn't bring my dog. I know, it's wow. I'm just going to set this up, so I'm going to try to replicate. It's going to be live streaming a little bit to some people out in the world who couldn't make it. So that's the big news. But don't worry, you're not in the shop. So, in case you're worried about your makeup situation. Everyone looks fantastic, but I just need to say that. I know how to kiss ass because I enjoy having my ass kissed. So that's what that was. So, all right. Wow. Oh, the only thing I need was one more. No, I don't need that. I can just put this here. I'll make a big deal of it every time I lean over to get a drink. All right. So, wow. Okay, I want to start with a song. This is a song that was actually, it's from 1927. It was, the words and music are by Harry Woods, who wrote it right here on Cape Cod. So this is a Cape Cod song from almost 100 years ago. Oh, we ain't got a barrel of money. You see, it's about money, like it was depression. So, oh, we ain't got a barrel of money. Maybe we're ragged and funny, but we'll travel along, singing a song, side by side. Don't know what's coming tomorrow. Maybe it's trouble and sorrow. It probably is trouble and sorrow. It's the depression. But we travel the road, sharing our load, side by side. Here comes the B section. Through all kinds of weather, what if the sky should fall? Just as long as we're together, it doesn't matter at all. When they've all had their quarrels and parted, we'll be the same as we started, just traveling along, singing a song, side by side by side by side. Thank you. Woo! Hot damn. Okay, I have stories I have to tell you. I got a lot to get through. I got a pen. I'm going to just tick it off as we go, if you don't mind. No, I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. But I have a few things I want to do. It's going to be a bit of a jumble. It's going to be a bit ADD. Everyone know what that stands for? Okay, good. So it's going to be a little bit of that. But what I wanted to do at first was just say, welcome to the church basement, to the meeting. Meetings happen in church basements. So thank you all for being here and being open to coming and sharing your name, your favorite animal, and your addiction. And then we'll all discuss. I'll go first. Ethan, raccoon, attention. Okay, now we'll go around and no repeats. So if someone says the name before you, make something up. No, that's not what's happening here. This is a celebration of, what is this a celebration of? Well, let me just point something out. 4:12 p.m., 2 minutes from now. Wow, how could it have worked out any better? 2 minutes from now, the sun is setting. 4:12 p.m. For the last 4 days, the sun has also set at 4:12 p.m., which don't ask me to explain that. I know we're making fun. We do have a professional in spectrometry, and Mike, he can explain it later. But that's not what the show is about. But here's the weird thing. The sun has set at 4:12 all week. Tomorrow it's setting at 4:13. And yet the days are still getting shorter. All right, the morning. There's the sunrise. That's what that is. Okay, so we can all figure that out. So we're getting together here to celebrate. It's the end of the year. It's the darkest. It's the coldest. But we have these beautiful holidays to celebrate to get us through. I know some of us have been feeling especially maybe dejected in the last few weeks. Things took a turn for, it's just very upsetting when you have a lot of faith in someone and you throw your support behind them and you really think they're fit for the office, and then and you donate a lot and you canvass and you knock on doors and you write checks and you hold fundraisers, and then they don't get the office. I'm talking, of course, about Matt Gaetz. Very, very upsetting. Yeah, you saw that coming. You saw the misdirect coming. He's like, yeah. Yeah. No, it's yeah, that guy. I mean, wow. He does have movie star looks. The movie star being Jack Nicholson in the final scene of The Shining. Frozen predator face. So, okay. Can I say fuck in the church? Fuck Matt Gaetz. All right. On that note, we're going to move on to, well, a Christmas song. What would the season be without Christmas songs? I actually love Christmas songs. My sister's here. We grew up in the Bronx, and there was a house right around the corner from us in Pelham Parkway in the Bronx. It really did seem magical because this person must have caused brownouts, if they had those in the 70s, with what they did to their house. They would load the house up with every Christmas decoration, and then cars would line up blocks around to see this. It was beautiful, I have to say. They still do it. Okay, enough out of you. Remember what I said about attention? Meet the reason. All right. All right, that's okay. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Wow, that E flat minor was evading my fingers, and we already went a little out of tune. So. Okay, we're going to do this again. Oh, the weather outside. Oh, the tuning. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Well, it doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. And the lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. I was so excited to get that E7, did you see? Oh, the fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. As long as you love me so. Here we go. There we go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Okay, let it snow. Thanks. I just wanted to point out that is not the only Christmas song in which the guy who's singing it is trying to parlay weather into sex. It's a weird genre, but there's a few of them. Yeah. I don't know if anyone is still in that demographic of trying to make that happen, but just a word. I don't mean in general to make it happen. I mean with strangers, where you're thinking about, okay, when can I make the move? What's my excuse? It's snowing. Okay, but you got to come up with something better than the weather. That's my advice. The weather is that's not going to really get you anywhere. The other big one in that genre was, of course, what was that other one that got outlawed a few years ago? That song. Baby, it's cold outside. Yeah, that one is, woo, yeah, this one is a close second. But he's being very polite about it. Okay, now I'm going to sing a number, as they used to call it. This is a number that we used to sing in my house. I just want to do one in case it could be a mixed audience. They allow that these days. If there are any Jews in the room, I wanted to. Oh wait, okay. Yeah, I wanted to do a number. This is a number that you'll remember. This was a favorite Hanukkah song that my parents would sing to us all 8 nights to put us to sleep, because it's a beautiful lullaby. And they would only sing one verse, because by the end of the first verse, we were all asleep. So, at least that's what they told me. about the song. So. You're laughing at the Hebrew language. That's not okay. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. We were asleep by then, but as long as I'm doing it, I figure we always just did one verse. I'll do a second verse just for the fun of it. See what happens next. Silent night, holy night. See that beatific? It's automatic. It's just singing. Holy night, shepherds quake. I feel like if you see a quaking shepherd, that's probably never a good sign. At the sight, glory streaming from heaven afar. Heaven afar? Isn't it heaven above? Yeah, I'd think, but yeah. Oh, I see. It has to rhyme with hallelujah. So that's it. Heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Wow, that's not as my parents described the song. That got extremely Jesus-y all of a sudden. It went from being like family values to just extreme Jesus very quickly, like the Republican Party. Heavy on politics, hard hitting this show. Okay, so all right, what did I want to tell you about? Yeah, that's a little bit of music. So I am an actor. I work as an actor. I'm always getting cast as the ethnic thug. That's basically my career, my niche. I was on the CBS show Unforgettable that no one remembers. I was on that ABC show Forever that got canceled after a season. I said to my agent, can you get me something a little more meaty than these little ethnic thug roles? I'd like to, get a role that I could really sink my teeth into. And here are the next few auditions she sent me out on. Thug, Jew, thug, Jew. Thug, Jew. That's Duck, Goose for the ethnic actor. Thug, Jew is also the title of my album, my comedy special, which I recorded right before the pandemic. Shameless plug. There it is. You can watch it on YouTube. It's there, or you could stream it. It's streaming everywhere. I don't know if it's streaming. People say that it's streaming everywhere. I don't know. It's not. It's not streaming on any of your phones right now, so it's not streaming everywhere. Yeah. So this is a song about not getting typecast that I wanted to share with you. This is by it's actually Cole Porter, and it's 90 years old. This song. Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in. Just turn me loose. Let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western skies. By the way, let me pause for a moment. Just, are any of the audience here versed in the arts of equitation? Any riders? There's a rider here. Okay. Anyone who raised their hand knows the word equitation, so obviously that's a rider. Yeah. So, okay. So there are two words coming up in this song. I didn't know what they meant. I don't even think Cole Porter knew what they meant. He's from Indiana. He's writing this Western song. He mentions a cayuse. Do you know what a cayuse is? A cayuse. It's a kind of horse that was ridden in the West, and it's actually named. The name is taken from a Native American tribe that was in the area. So cayuse. And then he mentions hobbles. You know what a hobble is? It's a cruel thing that they would do to like keep the horses from running away. It's just like basically like a big pair of handcuffs or hoof cuffs. I guess hoof cuffs, yeah. So anyway, now you know what's coming up. Because I hate listening to stuff and not knowing what the words are. So that's why I paused for longer than the song to explain all of that. So just turn me loose, let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western skies. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountain rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences, gaze at the moon until I lose my senses. I can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That's what you do when you forget the lyrics. Whoa, 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 whoa. See the mountain rise, oh yeah. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences, gaze at the moon until I lose my senses. I can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me, don't fence me, don't fence me in. All right. Expatiating. You know that word, digressing? It's a beautiful word, expatiating. I'm going to expatiate a lot, probably. Just I have a lot, just thoughts that occur to me, and I'm going to share this one, which is that the very first time I heard that song, probably the only time I ever heard that song live, was Samuel Ramey, who's possibly the greatest American operatic bass of the second half of the 20th century. Samuel Ramey. He sang it as an encore at Carnegie Hall exactly 30 years ago, because he was from Kansas. He was a Kansas boy, made huge international success as an opera singer, but he sang that song beautifully, but in a real incredible basso. I got to sing with him once, because then I'll talk about it later, but I had many years where I sang as an opera singer, and I got to do one show with him, and it was like, you know, in the cartoons when your hair gets blown back. It was unbelievable, the amount of sound that came out of that guy's head. Holy mackerel. All right. Oh, this is what I wanted to sing now. Wait, did I want to say anything before I do that? Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk a little bit about, some of the other, my first movie role I ever had. I was talking about being an actor. First movie role I ever had, almost 30 years ago. 30. I'll stop saying that. It was a movie called The Deviants. You can find it's out there if you still have a Betamax. It's called The Deviants. No, it's there on DVD. And my friend Matthew Myers of blessed memory, I have to say, produced it, wrote it, starred in it. It's very funny. Anyway, they cast me to play the role of Alejandro, the Colombian cocaine kingpin. I still remember my lines. My line. My word. In case you didn't see the film, here's how it goes. Gringo. Thank you. But just to prove that I know more than one word in Spanish. Que verde son, las hojas del abeto. How green are the leaves or the pins on the fir tree. Que verde son, las hojas del abeto. En Navidad, qué hermoso está, con su brillar de luces mil. Qué verdes son las hojas del abeto. Verse 2, now we're going to praise the branches. The branches, because they're majestic. And the smell is enchanting. That's what we got coming up. Que verdes son las hojas del abeto. Sus ramos siempre ariosos son. Su aroma es encantador. Que verdes son las hojas del abeto. If you want an amazing treat this Christmas, may I humbly recommend you go on YouTube and find Nat King Cole singing that in German. It's awesome. He sings it in English and in German. But first of all, the smoothest, most buttery, honey. I'm a vegan, so I shouldn't mention those things. But that voice it's the purest, most beautiful thing out there. And he let's say this, he takes a crack at the German with a lot of gusto. It's really great. So, yeah. You can hear why German is maybe, people think it's not as beautiful a language, but it actually, que verdes son las hojas del abeto. O Tannenbaum, wie grün sind deine Blätter. Actually, those words are okay. I take it back. I think it's a beautiful language. Okay, so what else did I want to tell you about? Oh, yeah. So some other roles I got to do in TV and in the movies. So I got to play Pinky Rabinowitz, a Jewish mobster on the show Boardwalk Empire, which was just a great experience. That was also that was just 10 years ago. Everything happened 30 years ago. Yeah, so Pinky Rabinowitz. It was just a lot of fun. And what I learned on that job is that for a mobster, Sicilian is a much more intimidating accent than Yiddish. I'll show you. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to put an end to this. And I'm going to have to put an end to you. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to put an end to this. I'll have to put an end to you. I'll have to put an end to him. Who knows to whom I will have to put an end. If it was up to me, I wouldn't put an end. Why would I put an end? I'm not, who am I to put ends? I'm not putting ends. I want to make a living. I have a job. I have to put food on the table. I'm not putting ends. My boss, he says, put an end. I put an end. It's not an intimidating accent. We can agree. It's not an intimidating language. It is a very sexy language, of course, which is why they call Yiddish the language of love. Okay. Yeah. No, that's French. But I never found French actually very sexy because probably it had a lot to do with my 7th grade French teacher, Madame Lefkowitz. Bonjour, class. Je m'appelle Jessica. Je viens de Ronkonkoma. Le expressway de Long Island, exit 60. Écoutez et répétez. That was a Long Island Expressway joke for you, Ken. Yeah. All right. That's the languages. I also, sometimes you have to audition a lot for a show to get a job. I auditioned like 16 times for the Blacklist before I booked that show. Yeah, it's crazy. I think I booked it on like the 15th or 16th time. But I was leaving the audition once, and this guy who I ended up working with on another movie, I was complaining. He was like, "Oh, you kidding me? That was my 21st." So some of these shows, it's like they want to it's crazy. But anyway, yeah. So the role I got to do on that show was the character's name was Arab Terrorist. And the audition was in Arabic, and I didn't speak Arabic, so I went to a friend and I had him teach me how to say the words, phonetically, and I was practicing them over and over and over again just to really get them, because you really got to know them if you're going to do them in front of a casting director with the nerves and a different language. And so I'm going over the lines over and over again on the subway at rush hour on the way to the audition. بحاول أحميك بدون موافقة رسمية. بحاول أحميك. The car cleared out. I did not get the part, but now I use that line whenever I need a seat. I did actually then, I know a lot of us did some very important things during the lockdown, during the pandemic. We really took advantage, made the most of, I don't know why you're laughing, every minute. We made it count. And so, like just a lot of just perfecting the gin and tonic or whatever your drink was. Gin and tonic, I see. No, so I decided I was going to learn Arabic because I had all these auditions where I had to speak Arabic. I didn't really speak Arabic, so I was like, I'm going to just learn it. So I did Duolingo Arabic. You're laughing, and you're right. So I did the whole Duolingo course. I got very good at Duolingo Arabic. I would even say I was fluent in Duolingo Arabic, which means I was just very good at playing their games. Here's what I realized. It's likening to like in 1982, I was really, really great at knocking down invading alien aircrafts on Space Invaders. But if some actual aircraft, I don't think I would do well in a dogfight against an alien, 14-year-old me. Anyhow, let me do another analogy since that went so well. I got so good at Miss Pac-Man, but if I had to, in real life, devour dots while evading ghosts? Okay, maybe that analogy works. I don't know. So I went down to, I got cast. I had an audition then for a movie during the pandemic, and I got cast in it. And it was in Arabic, and I did the audition in Arabic, and I felt like I had much more of a sense of the language, even though I couldn't really speak it. So I learned it. I learned it from the Arabic that they sent me with the script. And I got down there, and I had to quarantine. This was before the vaccine, so I was quarantining, and I had the words, and I just memorized the living hell out of those things, and I was just ready to go. And I then, in front of about 200 background actors, I played the father of a bride at a very big wedding. So about 200 background actors. We do a few takes, and we did some in Arabic and some in English. And then a guy comes up to me who was one of the background actors at a break, and he says, I just want to let you know, I'm Palestinian, and I'm a fluent native Arab speaker, and you're not saying anything. I was like, what do you mean I'm not saying anything? I was like, no, you're not saying anything. So anyway, it turned out I had learned it in classical Arabic, which would be akin to getting some dialogue for a movie in English and learning it in Chaucer or like Bible Chaucer. So it was just totally. Anyway, you can watch the movie. It's on Netflix. It's called Red Notice. It was quite a hit during the pandemic. It's like an action comedy. I do play the Egyptian billionaire, father of the bride. But but he speaks English with an accent, so you'll notice that. Anyway, that's something that happened. All right, I'm going to tell you a few more of these acting stories, but I'm not going to belabor the point. I did get an audition for that for the show Girls on HBO for the role of Adim, a Pakistani cabbie. I was very excited because, you know, not an ethnic thug. I mean, ethnic, but not a thug. And then I read the script. Adim runs over an old lady. So he's a thug. So I got to the audition, and you walk into the audition, and there's like a sign-in sheet just like this, and you see the name. It just says, name of actor, name of the role, and you sign in and you sit down and you wait. And I saw the names of the other people auditioning for the role of Adim. There was a guy named Mahmoud. There was a guy named Muhammad. There was, I mean, I'm looking at these guys. They really look like they could be Pakistani cabbies. So there was a Muhammad, a double Muhammad. And then there's a Muhtada, which I've never, but okay, Muhtada. And then I write down my name, Ethan Herschenfeld. And I got the part. And thank you. I was surprised, I was shocked, I was horrified, I felt bad, cultural appropriation, all of that. But then I thought over it and I realized those guys looking the way they looked with those names, they were overdoing it. One of probably the most exciting audition I had during the pandemic was I got to audition for that show Hunters. It's about these Nazi hunters. It stars Al Pacino. Yeah, and my audition was for the role of a rabbi. Yeah, thug Jew, obviously. Opposite Pacino. My scene would have been with Pacino. So I prepared, thought I did well, did not book it. Disappointed. But then my agents called back. They said they want to see you again for another role in the next episode. I said, oh yeah, what's that? They said Nazi prison guard. I'm thinking, how bad was my rabbi audition? Didn't book that either. Last week I had an audition that was pretty exciting. My whole life, it was really my dream role. It's the role I've wanted to do forever. It was in a film. Young director, looked great. I had already auditioned for the role of angry building manager who's trying to collect some rent from a guy who's ran off. That's kind of an easy role for me to get into because I'm an angry building manager. I do a little bit of that. Didn't book the manager, but then they called me back for another role. The name of the character this was just last week. The name of the character was Naked Man. My dream role. This is the role I told you, attention whore. I was very shy as a kid. I didn't want to change. I wore jeans in the shower. One of those. But as an adult, I'm a bit of an exhibitionist. So I was very excited about it. The audition was a delivery guy comes to the door. The film is about the delivery guy. It looks like actually a really great script. He comes to the door, and in this particular scene, the guy who answers the door very nonchalantly is just completely naked and just says thank you, and then he says his name, he introduces himself, and then he says thank you and goodbye. That was the whole thing, but I didn't get it. Yeah. I think I know why, because it said very specifically that when you slate, slating in these auditions, slating is when you look into the camera, it's separate from the scene. You slate, you look into the camera, you say your name, your height, where you're located, if you're a member of the union, that sort of thing. So, which can be kind of tricky. I mean, I never know, should I do it as myself? Ethan Herschenfeld, 6'3", Brooklyn, New York, Mujahideen rebel. Or should I get into the character, even in the slate, and be like, Ethan Herschenfeld, 1 meter, 93 centimeters. which feels like I'm overdoing it. So I don't know. In any case, in this audition, they very specifically said, in your slate, do not be naked in your slate. You can be shirtless if you want, but don't be naked in the slate. That's just like trying too hard. So I couldn't resist. So I did the slate in my underwear, which, yeah, I think they were like, screw that guy. Anyway, all right. I once got to sing a tune on TV. One of the shows I did, they actually had me sing. It was, well, it was one of several, I dare say 4 roles I've done on TV shows where I was the falafel guy. Or as I like to think of it, a food services entrepreneur with a mobile. Anyway, I was on the show Happy, which was on was it MTV Cartoon Network, whatever it was, Happy. It was a fun show, and I played a guy in a falafel cart, and it was around this time of year, so he happens to be singing. But they only had me sing a little bit of it, and it's a cappella, so I could hear when I listened back to that episode. I can hear I went a little sharp. It's a little bit upsetting. But, oh, hey, some people are watching live. Hello, can you wave to them? Hey, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Oh, yeah. Hi, everybody. Hello. Guten Abend. Hey, Feldman's here. David Feldman. Hey, Mom's here. Rachel, say hi. By the way, if anyone doesn't know David Feldman and doesn't watch the David Feldman show, it is a breath of fresh air and sanity in an insane world. It's a window of right side upness in an upside down world. It's just very, very funny and smart. So the David Feldman show, that's my plug. David, you owe me a plug. Oh, hey, Dad. Okay, Rachel, say hi to Dad. All right, enough of that. Oh, what was I going to say about oh, yeah, I wanted to tell one other tale, then I'll sing Blue Christmas. My parents reminded me. So I had I decided right before the election, I was so tense. I was like a lot of people, and I had donated. It's the first time I ever maxed out on that. I did a fundraiser. I was really like, it felt existential, like to a lot of people. So I decided I'm just coming up to Truro, and I'm going to just hang out here, and I'm just going to turn off all my devices because it's already cooked. What's going to happen is going to happen. I'm not going to affect it by being online the whole time. So I came up here. I decided I'm just going to tune out. So I drive up with Hildy, with one of our 3 dogs, with the big Great Dane. I drive up, I get settled. This is the 29th or whatever the hell it was, 28th of October. I say, I'm just in for a week, not going to look at anything. I land, and I get a text from my agent. It says, you booked that Law and Order. The costume fitting is tomorrow. So I had to get in the car the very next day. I slept and then just drove to New York to the costume fitting, and then had to memorize this quite long scene for the shoot that Thursday. And then Friday I drove back here. So I did the round trip a couple of times I did the drive 3 times in the space of 3 or 4 days. Shot the thing. It went well. It was fun. I just got an email 2 days ago from my agent saying, Law and Order. In fact, all she did was forward the email from casting at Law and Order. They said, unfortunately, his scene was cut for time. Yeah, it was Come on, group hug. You guys, I'm not a hugger. You hug. No, I'm okay. Anyway, no, I'm over it. But I realized why it was so triggering for me to really be so invested in something and go through all the stress of being a part of it and do everything you can to do well by those people, and then to find out that in the end you just were not needed at all. And it was very triggering for me. It reminded me of the time I overheard my parents say that they should have stopped at 2. I'm talking to you, Mom and Dad. No, that never happened. Okay, I just wanted to. Okay, here we go. Here's the song that I got to sing on Happy. You can check out that show, Happy. It's a very fun. you know Patton Oswalt, that incredibly funny comedian and actor. So he's the voice of this. There's like one animated character in there. It's a cool show. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree. Boom, 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 boom. Won't be the same, dear, if you're not here with me. I'll have a blue Christmas. That's certain. Certain is how they say it in Brooklyn. Certain. And when that blue heartache starts hurting, you'll be doing all right with your Christmas white. But I'll have a blue Christmas. Yes, I'll have a blue Christmas. Is Ron still here? He was going to do the backup singing, but no, he's gone. Okay. But I'll have a blue Christmas. Wow, wow, wow. If I knew how to do wow, wow, wow on the ukulele, I would have, obviously. I picked this thing up almost exactly a year ago. The story behind why I play this thing now, I have the receipt right here okay, a few years ago, I'm walking around. My great-great-grandfather was basically like a scrapyard guy. He would walk around picking up scrap metal and bones, and that was the business, and that made a living. So there was this habit, there's the kind of family thing, which is you walk around like this. So I think it's genetic. I just look at so a few years ago, I'm walking around, and this was there in a box on the street. It's called the Daily Ukulele. The Daily Ukulele. This is probably 5 years ago. It's by Liz and Jim Beloff from Connecticut. They wrote this thing. They compiled great songs. There's some original songs in there. So I just picked this thing up. Then last year, I said, by golly, I should just get a ukulele and learn how to do this. So on December 18th last year, I went to Mike's Music in Orleans. Shout out to Mike's Music. And I got this thing, and that's it. So there was an actors strike that started on July 14th of 2023, the Screen Actors Guild. A few months earlier, the writers went on strike, and then the actors went on strike. And on July 14th, Bastille Day, a year and a half ago, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a live show. I did a show for a year during the pandemic where I just interviewed people on Instagram Live. So I said, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it every night of the actors strike. I'm going to do it every single night. I'm going to bring a different actor or someone from the business on. We can talk. It'll be an outlet for some creativity and fun. I started doing it, did it every night. And then when the strike ended November 4th, I said, you know what, I'm going to keep doing it, kept doing it. And then I was like, what am I doing? Then it became a solo show because I ran out of people to interview. And then around Christmas last year, I just started reading Dickens' A Christmas Carol a little bit every night, which was fun. But then I was like, what am I doing? And I was like, oh, I should just start playing this thing. Oh, wait, I have the book. I have it. So then that became the show, just chat and music, which is why this format has become so fun for me. Because what I realized is, so I was an opera singer for many years. Geez, I meant to talk about it. I'll get to that. But I was an opera singer for many years. And that's extremely scripted, obviously. It's extremely, if you could think of an art form that's any more choreographed than that. I mean, it's ballet, so it's very choreographed. The TV stuff is mostly very scripted, although the times I've gotten to improvise in TV shows. Like my favorite one was this show High Maintenance, where I got to do a scene, and we did a scene, and then they were like, okay, let's do another one, just do what you want. And so that was very fun, and some of those lines make it into the show. That, to me, is really fun. So I just decided this format is just very fun for me. I really enjoy it. Singing, talking, and just going where my thoughts take me and where the audience comments take me. So, oh, my mom is saying, no, that didn't happen. Okay, so it was a joke, Mom, we know. Okay. Okay, good night. No. No, I'll remember where the hell I was. But that reminds me. See? Oh no, I know I was. Yeah, I didn't. But I don't know if I got up to. I wasn't about to do that. But in any case, yeah. Okay. Whew. The last thing I shot was this show. There's a show on CBS called Elsbeth, which is what I call I came up with a word for it, a comedy, comedy murder, comedy. It's a comedy murder show. There's a few of those. So I had a scene in it a month ago where I literally, this is just on the subject of losing one's train of thought. So the funny thing on these jobs is you have a lot of people looking at you, and there's like a whole crew working. It's very fun to plug into a crew. It's like hundreds of people, and then it's all focused when the shot is on. It's all focused just on you. It's weirdly a lot of pressure. You can, oh, it's kind of like this. Okay, yeah, no. So, but normally you just say, well, anyhow, sometimes it gets in your head. So I had one line in the script that goes, someone tells me something. I'm not giving anything away. I'm not under contractually with the networks. You can't like say what the thing is about. I'm not saying what it's about, but I did have this moment where I'm like, someone tells me some really bad news, and I go, wow, that sucks. So it's wow, ... that sucks in the script. So on one of the takes early on, before we really got going, we're going, and I'm like, oh, this one's going well. Like at the star of the show, I'm in the scene with her. I'm like, oh, we're really vibing. I'm really in the moment. This is going on. And she tells me the news, and I go, wow. I wish I was kidding. That actually happened. So the script supervisor from the distance, like, that sucks. Yeah. Anyway, so opera. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to have to wrap this up. But Jesus, the time flies. Well, for me anyway. Okay, I'm going to have another sip of fake beer. By the way, I've been drinking a lot of fake beer lately. I'm a fan of this one, Athletic. Tonight's show brought to you by. No, there are no sponsors. My assiduous attempts to monetize my YouTube show, because I was doing it every single night and got something, a small but loyal audience. My attempts were completely foiled because I don't know how to deal with, technology, but also because some of the songs that I do are not what's called public domain. So, if they're, some of them are, some of them aren't. So that's just my very subtle way of saying, please give me some money after the show. No, it's not actually. That's not what I'm saying. Anyway. Thank you to Kevin and thank you to Tammy, and thank you to everybody here at Preservation Hall. I want to do one other little plug before I talk about the opera, and then sing one more thing or so, and then we're out of here. Okay. First of all, I've been on this stage a lot in the last 2 summers because of Vanessa Vardabedian and her incredible thing called the Mosquito. If you don't know the Mosquito is an Outer Cape offshoot, cousin of the Moth. It's inspired by the Moth. It happens every week, sometimes several times a week in Provincetown and here in Wellfleet during the summer, and sometimes off season and the winter. Check out the Mosquito. Yeah, Gifford House in Provincetown. Incredible. It's very fun. It's a beautiful room, obviously, but it's just such a warm thing to be able to just get up and tell an honest story. And that was also eye-opening for me. It was part of my process of getting to this, where with stand-up, it's very scripted, and you need those numbers of laughs per minute. And with storytelling, it's much looser and more free-form, and I really enjoy that. So anyhow, I've loved doing that. So I've been on the stage many times. And then the other plug I want to give is to Lise. Thank you, Lise, for making the introduction to Kevin. So Kevin and Payomet, if you're not a fan or active in going to Payomet shows or supporting them, please check out Payomet's season. They do an incredible season of stuff. And I went to an event a year ago, and Lise said, you got to meet Kevin. You should meet Kevin and then do some shows. So thank you. It happened. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I want to thank my sister just for letting me do this without interruptions. except for at the beginning. No, I'm kidding. Okay. No, thank you for making the trip. All right, here we go. We sang Blue Christmas, and here's the cousin. This song is from 1942, but the movie of this song is from 1954. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. Lou, you were going to do the sleigh bell sounds? No, he's not here. Okay. Snow, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. With every Christmas card I write, may your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Verse 2 coming up. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's a favorite of mine, and it's also the official Christmas song of the Proud Boys. Stand back and stand. No. Okay. Oi. Yeah, oi is right. Oh, God. Well, we started about 7 after. So I have a few more minutes, and then we're okay. I just wanted to say that I was an opera singer for a long time. I got to do some incredible jobs as an opera singer. I got to sing in the world premiere of Brokeback Mountain, the opera. Yeah, they did. They turned Brokeback Mountain into an opera. Apparently, the movie wasn't gay enough. That's the first joke I wrote when I got back into doing stand-up in 2012. That is literally the first joke I wrote. And I was like, I had just been cast in the thing. I hadn't done the show yet, but I was like, when I wrote that, I was like, oh my God, that's really funny. Oh my God. It feels like a gift from above. If something just lines up like that, you're like, oh my God. Anyway, so that's a favorite joke. I did end up doing that show. I got to go sing in Spain. It was very exciting. The show was originally to be done at New York City Opera, but they kind of gave up the production, and it moved to Spain, and they did it, and so we did it over there. God damn it. Give me 1 second. I have a little cheat sheet, a little script. It got buried in my, where did I put it? If I lost it, I lost it. I'm just going to have to wing it for the last 5 minutes. All right. Oh, I know how we can do this. Bear with me. No, that's not it. Okay. This is a sign from above. Anyway, so I'll just tell you a little bit about the opera thing, and then I'll get off the stage. Yeah, I did. I got to sing at I did it for a long time. The career was like 20 plus years, 25 years. But I did get hired by the Metropolitan Opera, which was incredibly exciting, but as an understudy. So they were paying me to not sing, which as a singer could be taken as an insult. But early in my career, I didn't get paid to sing, and then I got paid to sing, and now I was getting paid to not sing. So the only remaining permutation would be for me to not get paid to not sing, which is what I've been doing for years until tonight. So that's exciting. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about in my final few minutes. I wanted to sing the song Crazy. I love that song, Crazy, and dedicate it. I'll just do one verse. But this is dedicated to anyone. By the way, this is a Willie Nelson song. People always think that this is Patsy Cline, which it is, but Willie Nelson wrote this amazingly. This is dedicated to anyone who has to go spend time with family this season. Crazy, I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. You can feel lonely there in the family, can't you? I'm crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you'd love me as long as you wanted, and then someday you'd leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wondering, what in the world did I do? Why are you blaming yourself? It's probably the other person. Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying. And I'm crazy for loving you. All right. Final thing I want to say before I sing the final song. So, again, this is not a very political show. I touched on it a little bit, but I just want to say this. I'm very disappointed. I voted for Bernie in the primaries in 2016. I was very upset that he didn't. I thought he should have run again in 20. He didn't. And then again this year, he could have. I mean, he's old. He's very old. But I think it would be great to have a president who's 176, who's lived through he really knows American history because he saw all of it. And I know what would have gotten him over the edge. He would have gotten the nomination, and he would have gotten elected, and we would have been inaugurating him in a couple of days, in 36 days. He just needed to release a Christmas album. A very Bernie Christmas. Track 1, Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, had a very shiny nose. If he had access to single-payer health care, he could have had that looked at when it was only mildly shiny. You have to nip that shiny nose in the bud. Track 2, thank you. Medicare for all, Medicare for all. Track 2, here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. Right down Santa Claus Lane. Santa Claus Lane is infrastructure. We need the federal government to support infrastructure in a robust manner so that Santa Claus can get you. Otherwise, you get bupkis for Christmas. Bupkis. This is the only Christmas album on which you will hear the word bupkis. And it's more than once. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Dream on. With global warming and environmental degradation, it's going to be a wintry mix at best. Start dreaming with this Republican administration. Start dreaming of a slushy Christmas. Don't worry, there's only 18 tracks. Bonus track, chestnuts. Tammy, I'm almost done. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. That's a hazardous workplace condition, which is why we need collective bargaining and strong unions. A very Bernie Christmas, streaming everywhere. And if you're streaming everywhere, I have a fantastic urologist. And if we had Medicare for all and single payer, you could afford to see him without going to Canada. Very Bernie Christmas. You can also, that's on my album, that bit, and then very nicely, the record company that released my album, 800 Pound Gorilla in Nashville, they then took just that bit and they hired an animator. There's a great animated version of that. The guy did a great job with Bernie, like decorating the tree, and you hear that bit. It's very fun. It's on YouTube, so please have a look at it. Okay, now I'm going to sing the famous Goodnight song that, you know, it's the greatest Goodnight song in the oeuvre. Okay. It's by Leadbelly, Huddy Ledbetter, but the Weavers always close their shows with it, and it's Goodnight Irene. Now, to me, it sounds a little bit, it has a little bit, to me, I don't know why, it has a little bit of a twang, so I want to sing it with a twang. I can't not sing it with a twang. Whenever I try to not twang, it just twangs anyway, so here goes. Goodnight Irene. By the way, you'll notice the second verse gets very dark. The second verse, the lyrics are very dark, but if you look at Leadbelly's original version, which you can also watch on YouTube, can you tell I spend a lot of time on YouTube? It's a much kind of more like sexy, like complicated story about like a young bride and a dad who doesn't want this guy to marry that person, but it's a little more family friendly the way it is here, and the Weavers did. Okay. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Last Saturday night I got married. Me and my wife settled down. Now me and my wife are parted. Saturday night, my God. I'm gonna take another walk downtown. Irene, good night. Sing along. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Wow, nice job, everybody. Okay, here comes verse 2. Hold on to somebody. Sometimes I live in the country. Sometimes I live in the town. I love that verse because I spent half time in Brooklyn and half time here, so that's good. Sometimes I have a great notion to jump into the river and drown. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. And now things get a little sunnier for the final verse. Stop rambling, stop your gambling. Stop staying out late at night. Go home to your wife and your family. Sit down by the fireside bright. Everybody. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in. One more time, G. Beautiful. One more time. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. Okay, rallentando. I'll see you in my dreams. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you at home. Thank you. Woo! Woo! Oh, one last word. Just one more thing I wanted to plug, which is that I wrote a fake self-help book. It's called Today Is Now. It's by my alter ego, Dr. Samuel Benjamin. It's available where fine. No, not where fine. It's available on Amazon. I'm ashamed to say. that whore, all those tech whores going and spending $1 million. Anyway, let's not talk about that. But Today Is Now is a real fake self-help book. It's fake because my character is called Dr. Samuel Benjamin, and I'm not a doctor. But the book is real, and it goes along with an eponymous mockumentary called Today Is Now, which we had in some festivals. We got some little awards. I got an acting award, a writing award, or a nomination. In any case, it was. But now it lives on YouTube. So please have a look at Today Is Now. Watch it. Leave a comment. Feed the hungry algorithm. All of that. That's my plug. And now more fake beer. Good night. Thank you very much. Thank you.